Thanks for staying with us, and this is Newsline on NTA. In recent years, the term Japa, a Yoruba slang meaning to flee or to escape, has become a household phrase in Nigeria. It's more than just a word. It is a reflection of a growing mindset, a cultural shift where leaving the country is increasingly seen as a pathway to success, safety and stability. But while many are leaving, one person amongst others decided to return with a message of hope for a better Nigeria. Momso Damian Dati has this report.
Across cities, towns and even remote villages, the wave of migration continues to swell. Every single day, it's estimated that at least 200 Nigerians depart the nation's shores, seeking greener pastures abroad. The steady stream of migration includes professionals of all calibers: medical doctors, engineers, accountants, IT specialists, teachers, and many more. This brain drain is not just a game of numbers, but a loss of skill, expertise, and innovation, increasingly creating gaps in the human capital development if it goes unchecked. Yet, in the midst of this departure, a highly accomplished medical doctor left behind a thriving practice in the United States of America to return.
Well, I was working with the US CDC, Centers for Disease Control and Prevention. It was like a job anybody could want, You travel, expose you to many countries. It got to the point I started feeling that something was missing. If you are traveling out there, you see what is going on, I think something in mind should be asking you, why can't you do the same thing back in your country? And some of the leaders that would think that all they do, probably trying to be smart, is destroy your own home and take your family abroad in somebody else's home. That is one thing I find a bit shameful for me, and I think it's one key orientation that I think every Nigerian should have. One would say, because you are patriotic, but if you're not patriotic, why are you a citizen? What makes you a Nigerian citizen? Citizenship is not just by birth, it's also by character. So once you own this country, accept as yours, every other positive change will begin. You don't have to be a leader to change the country. The leader is taken from the pool of citizens, and once citizens are corrupt, you'll keep on getting corrupt leadership.
His return comes with a bold mission to ignite hope and remind Nigerians that change is possible and that what people are running for abroad can be obtained here in Nigeria.
You can only shine brighter where there is darkness. Those places we are running into, people have suffered, people died sometime. Those countries, people actually pay the price for it to be there. So they believe that the best they could do, and why, which is the purpose of their living and their creation, is for them to come to the darkness in Nigeria and become the source of light.
He birthed an advocacy initiative known as National Reconciliation Summit. He also embarked on sensitization programs and summits where thousands of participants converge, with some recognized and rewarded for contributing to Nigeria's development. This move, he says, is to encourage and inspire more Nigerians to key into the patriotic move for a better Nigeria, rather than looking elsewhere.
As at now, we are now in 5 states actually. We've included Nasarawa, Kano, and Anambra states. What could I be doing that would have this kind of power to transform people? So I developed a card, call it the BKN card, showing unusual act of kindness. So once I help the person, and the person will come back to say, oh, thank you, this and that. I just want you to pass this kindness to some other person.
The message of hope and resilience is not only resonating with adults, it's also reaching the younger generation. Children are being taught, mentored and empowered to believe in a new Nigeria, and more importantly, to be active participants in its making.
Patriotism means to always love your country so much. A visionary leader is a deep thinker who starts a process so that others can learn and reproduce.
Parents are coming with amazing testimonies. How we transform one of the teachers or one of the parents sometime in one of the graduation ceremony, because we also hold graduation ceremony for them, give them certificates and give them gifts, to appreciate them. And it was like that she was very used to trashing things out of the car when driving, drink this one, throw it out of the car, eat banana, that kind of thing. And she did it sometime. It was daughter that cautioned her. The daughter cautioned her. I said, no, mommy, why we do that? You're not a good citizen. Then she stopped. Let's go and pick that can. Where do you learn that? It's from the Young Liner Club. You're not a good leader. And that's how we started. And the woman confessed openly. Says since then, anytime the thing will come to her mind, she remember her daughter's voice. Once you own this country, accept it as yours, every other positive change will begin. Repackaging those children to find hope and see themselves as you are the superhero of Nigeria. In your own time, you won't leave Nigeria the way it is.
8 years and still counting, the movement is gaining momentum. Over 10,000 Nigerians have heard the message. More than 5,000 have keyed into the vision and passing the torch to others.
Nigeria has the potential to be the greatest nation on earth. I know something is happening now, awakening the true Nigerian spirit and character.
It's a beautiful platform where the grassroots organizations are coming together to help us fixing the problem in the society.
Dr. Henry Dibem says the journey hasn't been all rosy.
All the money I had, or the fund I think I had then, when my colleagues, you have warlords, having like 3 houses, being landlord somewhere else, all I could do was use mine to fund this. But in the course of that, I started meeting people, having the same vision for Nigeria. In the worst of the situation, give them 100 million naira, tell them to leave Nigeria, they won't go anywhere. Be a solution where there is need.
1 person returned, 1,000 were inspired, and now a nation is awakening.
That's the right spirit. Well, there will always be migration, and that's when it is done in the right way. But remember, home is home, any day, any time. So why don't you just love Nigeria more and make it enviable? Let's look inward. Thank you, Momso, for that beautiful report. Now, in Nigeria's fast-scrolling digital arena, where algorithms amplify noise and misinformation spreads like a virus in the code, young creators often feel trapped in an endless loop of uncertainty. That's why UNESCO and UNIC are rewriting the script, equipping 22 influencers with hundreds of thousands of followers to debug the information ecosystem and reboot trust in the social media space. While this may seem like a drop in the ocean for some, it is a step forward in the fight against misinformation and misinformation that could destroy the character of someone. So let's see how this has been helping to build the media ecosystem. Najat Tijani of our social journalism desk has more.
Like corrupt computer files ridden with viruses, Nigeria's digital landscape is increasingly fragmented, a system plagued by disinformation bugs, spamware, and exploits which crash trust in public discourse. Misinformation spreads like malware, leaving young creators like Hawa Jalila Joda struggling to sort truth from fiction.
14-year-old Hawa Jalila Joda has been creating content since she was 12, using her social media platforms to advocate girl-child education. But she says the flood of information often leaves her overwhelmed. She also finds it hard to know the right tools and methods for fact-checking.
Sometimes my main problem was actually prompts, like using AI to make prompts. When you're a content creator, you should always put human rights, and you should always know that people have rights and you should not spread fake news.
A 2024 study found that more than 60% of Nigerians encountered false information online weekly, with political misinformation ranking highest in impact. Fact-checking organizations like Duba reported that during the 2025 Anambra governorship election, viral posts falsely claimed a candidate had already won, among other fake news. Yet, they spread widely, confusing voters and undermining trust in the process. This is why UNESCO is upgrading the system, training influencers to patch vulnerabilities and reboot trust ahead of the 2027 elections. Beneficiaries of such targeted training in ethical digital communication, fact-checking, and responsible use of AI include content creators, collectively influencing millions of followers.
UNESCO is training many people. We mainly work with youth organizations, with the government, with the executive. We work for the youth of this country, which represent 70% of the population of this country, and which are the most touched by new technologies, and it's important for an organization like ours to give them the necessary tools and instruments to thrive in their life using them properly.
Creators learn how to identify false narratives, responsibly use AI, and promote transparency in their content with Google Fact Check Explorer, reverse image search tools like TinEye, and AI detection platforms to identify deep fakes. Hawa, who has also trained under the initiative, says she now feels less anxious about fact-checking, having learned to verify information beyond AI tools.
But now I know that when you use your own creative skills, and you shouldn't always rely on AI, you should always verify, because most people just take information from AI and they just use it like that without confirming whether it's true. My contribution will be to advise other content creators to not spread fake news and misinformation. You should all say no to misinformation.
I would say I was very avoidant of AI in general, because I just feel like I just saw it as totally evil. But like from this workshop, I realized that, okay, you can actually use it for good. You can actually use it to your own advantage to help you. It's going to strengthen you even in your content creator journey. It's going to use as a tool also for verification. So I think I have a different mindset and notion when it comes to AI, and I've now been taught during this workshop ways in which I can use AI for good too.
So I don't think AI is going to take my job in particular. I feel it's here to help enhance and make it easier for me to create content, to navigate storytelling, to tell better stories. So it helps you cut down the time, the effort, the energy that will take you a longer period. So for me, I see AI as an assistant and not something that is here to take over.
And one thing I've understood about influencing content creation is the fact that you don't just do something at once, you do it bit by bit. And in terms of passing a message, I can incorporate it into my script. Just make sure that I'm passing a message in every video, subtly or directly, or however I'm going to do it. I just make sure that I'm making actual impacts that would lead to a positive result in the 2027 elections.
With Nigeria's internet users exceeding 122 million in 2025, training some influencers is a drop in the ocean. Looking ahead to 2027, the projection is that Nigeria must scale these efforts nationwide, embedding MIL into schools, media houses, and civic organizations.
It's good to know that we are now addressing crisis of trust in the information ecosystem. And for me, for this initiative, getting the youngsters involved is a great deal, and that's the deal, really. Now, women carry dual weight of ambition and expectation. They nurture their personal dreams while building families, careers, sustaining traditions, and striving to break barriers. Most times, they strive to stand firm in the area, in the face of inequality, with grace and determination. Tonight, we recognize that the face against all odds, inseparable from the story of women. Their contributions are not footnotes in history, they are driving forces.
Here comes Charity, Waninisam, Sapwavi, Babalola, a woman from a very large family in northeastern Nigeria.
What I understand then while I was growing up was that when you finish secondary school, the next thing you have to get married. If you want to further, they will call you names, they will discourage you. I remember my mother used to tell me, if you further and become a degree holder, who will come and marry you at home? And to me, I told her, I said, don't worry, another graduate will marry me. Our own understanding is that if you become a graduate, it will be difficult to get married.
Driven by passion and an unyielding desire to succeed, Charity refused to be deterred. She fought against all odds, taking on menial jobs just to support herself through school.
But you know, I have that conviction in my heart that education is the best way for me to go. So I started, I pushed. I was the person that went to go and look for admission for myself. I have to do certain things, plaiting hair, from here and there. People invite me to their houses. I'll go and plait hair, and I got a diploma. Then after the diploma, I did like IT in a bank. I gathered some money. So I went back for HND and I opened a salon since I can plait hair. And then I finished my HND.
Today, Charity stands tall as an accomplished woman, a seasoned administrator, motivational speaker, philanthropist, a businesswoman, a wife and mother with many other feathers adorned to her cap.
Today, I can tell you that I'm running my PhD.
This is the story of resilience, hard work, and determination fueled by passion.
I picked a lot of children and I take them to school very close to their houses, and I pay school fees and I follow OFO. I am doing my foundation now. I empower women.
But on the other side of the coin is Favor, not her real name though. She too had dreams. She had opportunities. But somewhere along the way, she gave up too easily.
My sister, it is well. My father is a farmer then. So let me stay with my mother. Others are going to school. You go next year, But I wanted to go, but I will just be feeling for the woman. Only you, how can you cope? I almost not go to the little one I went. I almost know because of my mother. But later, the Lord helped me. I went to school.
Today, Favor survives as a water vendor, struggling daily to make ends meet.
I went to school but primary school, secondary school. When I now finished, I wanted to further my education. I made my paper, my maths, English, but in midst of learning, they said it made 50 cut-off mark. The person supposed to help me miss herself. That's why I just discouraged. Then my friend, two of my friends, they are begging me that I will regret in life that I didn't further my education. I didn't value it. I said, I'm tired. I don't want to go, but now I'm regretting it. They have gone far. Both me, I'm in hockey water.
Two women, similar beginnings, very different outcomes. The same opportunities, but different choices.
Instead, what I was seeing is around me, I did not see any graduate. Around me, I did not see anybody aspiring to go to school, but I was pushing myself.
These are some of the issues the annual International Women's Day seek to address.
Let's make this International Women's Day a day of help for women and the girl child.
While advocating for women like Favor and countless younger girls coming up behind them, girls who deserve a level playing field, access to education, opportunity, and a chance to actualize their dreams and aspirations.
The women today break barriers. We shatter the ceilings, and we are where we are. I would not have been a company secretary and legal advisor in NNPC Gas Marketing Limited if I'm not educated.
When women are empowered, they do more than change their own lives. They transform families, communities, and entire societies.
We'll see what the First Lady is doing. She's been a senator. She's been in the House, for a couple of tenures. Today, she's the wife of the president. She has made a lot of impact because she's educated. For the bill asking that women should be given a slot, that be given consideration, and we know that women will be able to deliver.
And even religious leaders affirm this truth.
The Quran says that the women are our equal partners. Even the Messenger of Allah said that the women are like our twin brother and sister. So we should actually honor them, and we honor them every day.
Any man, any woman that leave women education, not training women, that man is a killer of the destiny. It should stop him. It should stop him. Put them for school.
Of course, I agree, because we are the game changers. We run the world, and I celebrate all the women out there sacrificing, toiling, and most times we actually forget ourselves just to see others succeed. Every woman out there, congratulations, seeing this day. Let's take a break. More to come when we return. Nice to know you're still there. This year, a rare alignment on the calendar is telling a different story. For the first time in many years, the Muslim holy month of Ramadan and the Christian season of Lent are being observed at the same time, creating a period of shared devotion, sacrifice, and compassion. From mosques to churches, from early morning prayers to evening reflections, millions are united by a common spiritual rhythm: fasting, prayers, charity, and self-examination. Though rooted in different traditions, but seasons call believers to see discipline and body, purify the heart and serve humanity. Tina Toro tells us more.
For Muslims, Ramadan is a sacred month of fasting from dawn to sunset, abstaining from food and drink as an act of obedience to Allah. But aside hunger and thirst lies a deeper purpose, cultivating patience, humility, and empathy for those in need. For Christians, Lent is a 40-day journey towards Easter, marked by fasting, prayer, and acts of self-denial in remembrance of the sacrifices and teachings of Jesus Christ, and a time for reflection, repentance, and renewed commitment to faith and service. Religious scholars say both periods emphasize forgiveness, reconciliation, and compassion.
Shi manzo sallallahu alaihi wasallam a cikin dukkan lokuta yana da kyauta, amma idan Ramadana ya shigo kyautansa zai ninka.
During the month of Ramadan, Muslims are expected to reach out to vulnerable and less privileged persons in the society.
It's an act where we reach out to the poor, to the underprivileged that live amongst us. It is a theological injunction, but it has also psychological and emotional relief when you are able to help somebody who is in need.
Clerics from both faiths remind adherents that true fasting goes beyond abstaining from meal. It demands good character, honesty, kindness, restraint, and peaceful conduct. Believers are urged to strengthen unity and extend support to the vulnerable.
The practices and the injunctions, both in the Islamic and the Christian, what we are called to do are basically the same. So that is to tell you that we worship, the same God, and God is calling us to live out, well, more or less the same thing in terms of being people of love, ambassadors of peace and reconciliation. And again, paying attention to the poor and the underprivileged who live amongst us.
Mu zamanto muna da ɗabi'u masu kyawu a cikin wannan wata nan, wato faɗin gaskiya da rashin wato yaudara, rashin ƙarya, rashin neman faɗa.
We should exhibit good characters in this month of Ramadan because the Prophet, peace be upon him, said, even if someone insults you, tell him that you are fasting.
During Ramadan, Muslims give sadaqah and zakat to assist the poor, widows, orphans, and struggling families. In the same spirit, Christians observing Lent practice almsgiving and contribute to humanitarian causes. Faith leaders say this shared culture of generosity reflects a universal truth that service to humanity is service to God.
If you go to Jerusalem, for instance, there is a whole street where it is called Via Dolorosa, that is the way of the cross. And so it's an ancient practice in the Catholic Church.
This period of fasting and deliberations, prayer should reflect peace and peaceful coexistence and should be a reason to change our lives for better.
Ultimately, both Ramadan and Lent call for inner renewal and outward compassion. And as the faithful bow in prayer and open their hearts to charity, this shared sacred season quietly echoes a timeless message that love, sacrifice, and peace are values that transcend every difference.
Of course, Tina, and this is a sign that there's only one God, so we need to love more, tolerate each other, and work towards a Nigeria we all desire. And who's actually thinking of division? It's too late, we are already united. This is a sign. So as the holy month of Ramadan draws to a close, Muslims across Nigeria and the world intensify acts of worship in pursuit of divine mercy, forgiveness and salvation. The last 10 days of Ramadan hold exceptional spiritual value, offering believers a unique opportunity to draw closer to Allah and seek blessings of Laylatul Qadr, the night of power, described in the Quran as better than 1,000 months. In this special report, correspondent Abdul Jalil Mohammed Bawa highlights the significance and what is expected of a Muslim during the last 10 days of Ramadan.
The last 10 days of Ramadan represent the spiritual peak of the fasting period observed by Muslims all over the world. It is a period marked by increased devotion, reflection, and supplication by adherents who strive to maximize the immense reward said to be attached to that act of worship. In the closing days of the month, Muslims are encouraged to intensify prayers, recitation of the Quran, and the act of charity. Central to the significance of this period is Laylatul Qadr, known as the Night of the Decree, said to be better than 1,000 months. A night in which angels descend and peace prevails until the break of dawn.
Any righteous act is considered as more than 1,000, performing it within 1,000 months. That is, as Allah Ta'ala says, Laylatul Qadr khayrun min alfi shahr.
Although the exact date of Laylatul Qadr is not specified, Islamic scholars explain that the last 10 days symbolizes a final opportunity for believers to seek forgiveness and redemption before the month's end. It is also a time to reassess one's spiritual journey, mend broken relationship, give generously to the less privileged, while strengthening one's bond with the Creator.
Giving out charity to others, particularly to the poor and the needy ones, then also, even the manner that we speak should be a nice one. Then doing much of dhikr and doing much of remembrance of Allah and doing much of the recitation of the glorious Quran.
They should also include in their prayers the situation we are in. We are all aware of the security challenges of Kebbi State and the country as a whole. So we should include our dear state in our prayers and the nation in general.
In mosques across the country, night prayers known as Tahajjud and extended Taraweeh sessions witness large congregations. Beyond personal devotion, the period also reinforces communal values, empathy, generosity, patience, and discipline, which are hallmarks of the Ramadan experience.
It's good you follow the rules and tenets so that you can have the blessings. Thank you, Abdul Jalil. Still on spirituality, prayer has always been at the center of human spirituality, cutting across faiths, cultures, and generations. Yet, among believers, a familiar question often arises. Is it better to pray aloud, lifting one's voice as an outward expression of faith, or pray silently, speaking only within the heart? Here are views of some respondents.
In many worship centers, loud prayers are a familiar sound. For some worshippers, raising their voices helps them express deep emotions, stay focused, and feel a strong sense of togetherness within the congregation. It is often seen as a shared moment of faith where voices rise as one in hope, gratitude, or supplication.
When you are praying against forces, sometimes you don't need to be silent over it. So this kind of prayer, you pray loudly. There are prayers when it has to do with dealing with the devil. There are some voices that cannot scare the devil away, except when you roar like a lion, he gets scared. So praying loud is also acceptable.
Warfare is not something that you keep silent, you shout on the top of your voice, because you're dealing with demons, principalities, and power.
However, others believe that the strength of a prayer is not measured by its volume. They argued that Sincerity comes from the heart, not the loudness of the voice. For them, silent prayers provide a private space for reflection, emotional calm, and a personal connection with the divine. Whether whispered in a quiet room, said in the hearts during a busy day, or offered in moments of uncertainty.
We have also meditative prayer where you pray in your mind. We have also even postures. You can kneel, you can stand, you can even lie down to pray.
The silent prayer, more of meditative prayer, is more important than the shouting part of it. Even though some people glory in it, they think that when they talk like that, then they combine the thing with that force and their spirit aligns with what they are declaring. But that's not it. The most important thing is that you have faith in God.
God is a being nobody sees. And for being, a great being, we have to go down and talk to him in a very silent way.
Across different faiths and personal beliefs, many worshippers agree that both forms of prayer have their place. Loud prayers can offer emotional release and communal bonding, while silent prayers encourage introspection, clarity, and inner peace.
Both connect. What makes it work is your faith. Anna prayed in her heart. Her voice was not heard, and the Lord answered her by giving her Samuel. It was a silent prayer. The priest didn't even hear her, so it was in the heart. Loud prayer. Blind Bartimaeus cried loudly, and Jesus Christ stood for him. So both are powerful.
Ultimately, the shared view is simple and relatable. Whether spoken aloud or kept within, what truly matters is the intention behind the prayer. For many ordinary people, faith is not about how loudly one prays, but how sincerely one connects.
Now, let's pay more bills. We'll be right back. Stay with us. You're watching Newsline. Culture remains one of the strongest forces binding the people of southeastern Nigeria, woven through shared traditions, a vibrant language, and enduring communal values. Igbo culture continues to nurture peace, preserve identity, and strengthen the spirit of togetherness. From generation to generation, these customs speak of a people united by heritage and pride. Kingsley Onwoha takes us deeper into this rich cultural tapestry.
Culture is first seen in the words people speak and the clothes they wear. Among the Igbo language, attire and daily interactions reflect a strong sense of identity and belonging passed down from generation to generation. From colorful traditional outfits to greetings rich with meanings, these expressions shine through during festivals and marriage ceremonies where families and communities gather to celebrate their shared heritage. Events such as New Yam Festival, masquerade displays, and cultural days bring young and old together. Beyond the excitement, past the fanfare, they serve as moments of learning where elders share wisdom and children connect with their roots.
It's a sign of unity. It's a sign of unity. You can see people, friends visiting friends, relations visiting their relations.
New Yam Festival, just like in my place, we call it Iriji, is a festival and a culture and a tradition that brings unity, peace, that makes every person in the village to know their relatives.
Igbo culture is a symbol of unity, is a symbol of togetherness, it's things that bring people together. Because no Igbo culture, no Igbo.
Language remains a strong pillar of unity. Through proverbs, folktales, and everyday communication, the Igbo people passes on values that shape character and strengthen community ties.
That the tradition of Igbo is one. And what makes the tradition one is our language. Because both Igbos in Nigeria and Igbos in diaspora, and Igbos in every part of the world. Wherever we see ourselves, the language is sought to bring us together because we have a common greeting.
As we celebrate our culture, we are really making that culture not to go into extinction.
The spirit is guided by Igwe Buike. The belief and strength lies in unity. It is reflected in communal efforts to build roads, schools, and health centers, showing how togetherness drives development.
If you want to go fast, go alone. But if you want to go far, go in group. So the Webike stand for the strength in unity. Without that unity, what one person or one group is doing without the help of others might not go far.
Igbo culture continues to unite generations and promote peaceful coexistence. By preserving these everyday expressions of culture, communities are building a stronger and more inclusive future.
Our cultures are unique, dynamic, beautiful, and they define us. So let's pass it down to the younger ones. Now let's take our last break. We'll be right back. In Nigeria's story is still been written in courage, sacrifice, and steadfastness. And as always, we remain committed to telling it with clarity and purpose. As we close tonight, may the stories we shared not only inform you, but inspire you to reflect, act, and believe in the power of change. Because when we tell our stories, we shape our future. I'm Elizabeth Omori, but we will leave you with this message for the International Women's Day.